Well, good evening. I have two more cars to open for you from different brands. And these ones are neat for me because I have owned in real life versions of these cars. So the first one is going to be this Johnny Lightning 1980 Chevy Monza, the Sergeant Larry Porter in the Beat the Heat Inc. Racing for Education, sort of like the DARE program. And this is a Johnny Lightning. Let's see, what year is this? This is Johnny Lightning 2.0, so this would be in, I guess, the mid 2000s. I should have. So at the time, Tomy Corporation owned Johnny Lightning, and it says copyright 2011 Tomy. So I forget what year Round 2 took control or took over the Johnny Lightning brand. Beat the Heat, international nonprofit, made up of active and retired police officers, blah, blah, blah. Highly visible cars to schools and racetracks to deliver the message, in school, being cool means staying drug and alcohol free. And on the street, being cool means taking your fast car to the track to race. So this particular car, a 30-year veteran of law enforcement in Texas, Sergeant Larry Porter is the Harris County Sheriff's Office chaplain. Sergeant Porter has been a member of Beat the Heat since 1994. His best time in his 427 big block powered Monza is 10.38 seconds at 124 miles an hour. That is impressive. Now, my Monza was not as impressive, but special to me because it was the second car I owned and the first car that I owned that I actually drove on the street. I owned another car before I got my driver's license, but this is the first one I actually owned and drove on the road legally. So let's take a quick look at this. So a Chevy Monza from 1975 to 1980, Chevrolet made the Monza. It is about the size of a Vega, and while the Vega from the factory was available with strictly 4-cylinder power, the Monza from the beginning was available with 4, 6, and even 8-cylinder power. Now, obviously, mine did not have this big hood scoop or the police light bar, but this was the body, shape, and style of mine. So this is a Johnny Lightning, so we're expecting some decent details. There's chrome around the windows and the black trim, just like this black pillar treatment. You can see the door handle, the headlights. There seems to be a plastic insert there. I'm not sure. Yeah, or maybe they're just so deep, but they're not painted. They're not tampoed. But there's tampos for Beat the Heat and the police department, emergency dial 911. This is metal body, metal base, 1980 Chevy Monza used under license. Date code for manufacturer, Johnny Lightning made in China. I can't find the casting. Oh, hold on. There we go. Casting number 987. And I guess I'm going to have to learn how to do a spreadsheet to track my cars or do an inventory. So there's some nice tampo work there on the rear window and on the rear hatch. So this is pretty good. I mean, for this era of Johnny Lightning, this is good. I would imagine that this could be a little small for scale. This one has the hood that opens with the big hood scoop. And that's too funny. So on the package it says 427, which is a big block Chevy engine of 7 liters. And then you pop the hood and I see the engine that mine actually came with. A 4-cylinder, 2.5-liter Iron Duke, one of the worst engines General Motors made. Iron block, aluminum head, and if you're a car guy, you know what that leads to. Self-destruction. So this is pretty cool. I had been looking for a Chevy Monza in diecast. Hot Wheels has them, and Johnny Lightning. I don't know of anybody else. The Hot Wheels are difficult to find in good shape, and if they are in good shape, they are very expensive. This was fairly reasonable. This was less than $10. I think it was $7. And then I had shown this, waved this around a few times, so it's finally time to open this. This is the Greenlight Hobby Shop Series 9, 1992 Ford Crown Victoria LX with man in suit. 2020 copyright. There were the other vehicles in the series. And let's get this out of here. Now, I have shown Crown Victorias from different castings, including Greenlight. I have that blacked out series. But that's a police car. And it's so nice to have a civilian Crown Victoria. Because, again, I owned one of these. And I love them. And I regret ever selling it. So, there's the little man in suit. And I'll fish him out later. But let's take a look at this. I love this paint job. These chrome wheels are a fair reproduction of the actual rims I had on mine. You can see the tampo detail. The lights here are painted. This is exactly how the car actually looked in real life. The mirrors are there. They're a little small, but they are silver where they would be reflected. They've done a nice job on the window trim and the little chrome drip rail. A nice job on the tampo work, taillights back there. There's no license plate number. Let's take a quick look at the base. 92 Crown Victoria. Copyright 2019. Let's see. GL 171 is the casting number. Nice rubber tires. Now, Greenlight is notorious for having rubber tires that are way too thick for the casting, out of scale, as opposed to Autoworld. But on these, they don't look too bad. As I recall from my Crown Victoria, the tires were 225 width, which is technically that's 10 inches on a 7.5-inch rim. So these look proportionate. These wheels are, the chrome is a little too much. There should be some, what do they call that, black wash in there to give it some depth. But that is what mine look like. So now let's see. This hood does open, and I luckily no struggling. I had a 4.6 liter modular V8 in mine. That looks like what's underneath there. And the civilian version of this, you had two options. Mine was the basic 4.6 liter with 190 horsepower. If you got the towing package, you had 210 horsepower. Mine had a beautiful soft air ride suspension. I drove this thing on 1,000 miles each way road trip, and it was luxurious. And even with a fair-sized V8 and a very heavy car, I think it was 3,800 or 3,900 pounds. With a heavy right foot, I maintained a fuel economy average of 25 miles per gallon, averaging 80 miles an hour on the interstates. So this is really sweet. This is a nice model. The Black Bandit version is okay. But with these cheap wheel covers, which is what, you know, taxi cabs would have had, it's so nice to have the LX version, and mine was a navy blue with a dove gray leather interior, and the interior in this looks pretty good. You can see they did a little overspray here with the gold on the window. My understanding is that this roof is plastic, not metal. It's actually part of the windshield with the glass. So that's pretty cool. So I always feel it's nice when I can get an example of a car that I've really owned. And I've owned a lot of different cars over the years, predominantly Ford, but not always. I have shown before different variations of castings. I owned a Pinto, proud Pinto owner. I forget who it was that commented today that, their family also had a Pinto, and we were lucky to survive such dangerous cars. I love Pintos. I didn't think they were dangerous at all. Recently, I showed that Motor Max 78 Thunderbird, another car that I really owned. So I'll pluck one of the Pintos out. So cars that I've owned that I have in diecast. Let's see how many I can find examples of. So far, 4. I also owned a 1991 Mustang LX 5-liter notchback. Now, this Greenlight version is a 1988 Ford Mustang LX 5-liter. There's the casting number there, 060. I forget which series this came out of. This one has a drag racing hood, unlike what I would have had. Mine had the old 5-liter engine, which this has. So this particular body style of Mustang LX, basically the Mustang Fox body ran from 1979 to 1993. But the first year that this front end with the aero headlights and grille was 1987. So from 1987 to 1993, there were ways you could tell, mostly on the interior, but on the outside, this rub strip down the side would either be black with a red, bittersweet red stripe down the middle, or just solid black, or eventually body colored like this. The taillights were always the same on the LX. The GTs had louvered or cheese graters. This Greenlight LX is nicely detailed. On this particular car, the tires are all the same size. They actually have another version, I think, that has big race slicks. So this is very close to what I actually drove, except I had the factory 5-star pony wheels. Mine was a 5-liter 5-speed, and mine was a very particular deep emerald green, similar to this 1/43rd scale. But of course, mine was a hardtop notchback, not the convertible. And this is a GT, and you can see the difference in the taillights there. This 1/43rd Mustang GT convertible, 1989. I think I have shown in old videos. So trying to stick to 1/24th scale, I have examples of 5 and counting. Now this one is not exact, but this is a Johnny Lightning Ford Fairlane. Now I believe this is a 1966 4-door. I had a 1967 station wagon. This particular one does not have the opening hood. So I had a 1967 Ford Fairlane 500 station wagon in powder blue with a 289 and a Cruise-O-Matic, which just means it was an automatic transmission. I love that car. That was the car that I got when I was, I think, 15 or 16 years old, and it was had been my parents' car. They sold it to me, and I was going to fix it up, and I was going to cruise around in it. Even though it was a station wagon that had a V8, it didn't work out. So that's close to what I had. Close enough for baseball, I guess is the term. And another vehicle that I had that I want to get a better version of, I had a 1981 Chevy K10 stepside. And this is the Autoworld Chevy K10. I believe this is a 1978. So basically the differences would have, I had single square headlights and a slightly different grille. And mine was a step side rather than the fleet side. And I didn't have the big balloon tires, but I did have four-wheel drive. I also had an inline six-cylinder, whereas most of them were V8s. And Autoworld does, everybody has seen and shown, I've shown these Autoworld square bodies before. Autoworld does an excellent job on these. And I don't want to, there we go. And the tailgate goes down. Now, Autoworld does have a step side, as does M2. But I'm being patient to wait the frenzy out and try and get one at close to retail price rather than these inflated prices. And as I said, I've had a lot of cars in my lifetime, over 20. I don't have them all in diecast, but I do have two more. And I want to get a better version of this, but I had a 1977 Plymouth Fury, and this is Greenlight's, I believe, Dodge Monaco, 1978 Dodge Monaco. And if you're familiar, Dodge and Plymouth shared a lot of the bodies, and then the grille would be different and the nameplates would be different, but this is the Highway Patrol version from Hot Pursuit. Mine actually was an ex-police car, but it was not black and white. It was one of the unmarked cars from Greenwich, Connecticut. I bought it after it had been sold in auction. I bought it third hand. So mine did not have the push bar, but it had the same steel wheels with center caps, four-door, just had no markings and no spotlights. So it was very similar to this, except for it was in a sky blue, a light blue. I bought that used. It was approximately 10 years old when I bought it. And it was a great beater. I had a lot of fun with it. 318 cubic inch, 5.8 liter V8. Positive traction rear axle, torque flight transmission. The thing was damn near indestructible. I drove it for a few years, beat the hell out of it, and then sold it for more money than I bought it for. That's what we call horse trading, folks. And so another car. This is a version of the car I actually drive today. I have two of these Greenlight castings. So these are 2013 Ford Escapes, and I have a 2018 Ford Escape. Same chassis, but the headlights and taillights are a little bit, the grille is vastly different on mine, and mine is black with, it's basically what they call murdered out from the factory. All black trim, no chrome on it, black wheels, black paint, black interior, and I just love that. I love that little vehicle. And this one I got as part of a Hollywood 10-pack. And so I paid $30 for that 10-pack, so I paid $3 for this. And this one is one of the most expensive cars in my collection. This is a green machine. And this baby blue is the same color that I had that Plymouth Fury in. So this is a green wheel, green chassis, or green base, green machine, 2013 Ford Escape, 2012 copyright. There's the So you don't see, you do see these in like New York Department of Sanitation, but you don't see these in civilian decos much from Greenlight. That's why, in all honesty, I paid with shipping $40 for this, more than I have for my Kyosho's, more than I did for my TLV. I think my TLV with shipping was $35. But at least this has lensed headlights, very good details, no opening parts, lensed taillights. But quite frankly, the red one, which cost 10% of the other one, is just slightly nicer. The thing was, I found the green machine before I found the Hollywood 10 pack. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 examples of cars that I have owned in real life. I also have a much larger scale, so I need to make room of another car. So I have 10 examples, technically, of cars that I have owned in real life. And again, this one is close, but not exact. Here I have a much larger scale, heavily plastic Ford Ranger. And this is the, I believe, STX version. So this is a 1997 Ford Ranger 4x4 STX. You'll notice my YouTube name is XLT Off-Road Bear. I had a 1999 Ford Ranger XLT with the off-road package. And I had it in the same green as that Mustang. Again, I'll bring this example out in this color. I actually had 3 Fords in that color, not all at the same time. I had the 91 Mustang, the 99 Ford Ranger, and I had a 1993 Ford Taurus SHO for a few years. I bought that one used. So if you know who Conan O'Brien is, a late night talk show host in the United States, he famously had, I think he might still have his. His is in pristine condition. Mine, I donated for charity because it was basically falling apart. One of the few Fords I had that had a lot of problems, basically because of the Yamaha designed engine. So I've been ranting, but so the 2 new cars for my collection, the 1980 Chevrolet Monza, this one with the Beat the Heat livery, based on a real car in Texas, and the Greenlight 1992 Ford Crown Victoria LX in civilian trim. I have one of those Motormax Fresh Cherry Pintos that I did a video on. The Motormax American Graffiti 1978 Thunderbird. Johnny Lightning Classic Gold Series 1966 Ford Fairlane 500 4-door. The Autoworld K10 pickup. And the Greenlight, this one was the 1989 Ford Mustang LX 5-liter notchback. And then, of course, the 2013 Ford Escape and the 1978 Dodge Monaco. So, do you have any die-cast versions of cars that you have actually owned? Let me know in the comments. So tomorrow's Friday. I don't do videos on Fridays. I have other entertainment on Fridays. So I'll be back on Saturday and or Sunday. You guys be well. On the weekend, I'm going to update you on, there have been quite a few of the challenge response videos from all over the world, from New Zealand, Australia, from Canada, from the UK, and all over the United States. I am amazed at the feedback on this. I guess I shouldn't be because, of course, one of the earliest videos I made was Gary's diecast collection, his race car challenge. And I also looked back and I found that somebody had done a 10 favorite car challenge about 10 months ago. So I probably should have made it 10 cars because everybody's saying, oh, it's so tough. You know, I have 4,000 cars. How do you pick just 10? Well, you guys did it, and you did it admirably. You did it well. So like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I will talk to you in a couple of days. Good night.